is going on, all my Gecko people? So Frank the Geeky Gecko here, back for another Monday night live stream. I've already been chatting with some of you in the chat. It looks like people are ready for our Mondays now, which is awesome. Let me see, this light is kind of bright here. But I think I put a new desk light on my desk, and I think it's overall lighting up my area a lot better than in weeks past. So Apex, hello, Amber, Nick, Core, DNS, Daryl. Let me see who else is here. Early birds, early birds. Good to chat with you guys early. I didn't know that the chat would work so early, so that's cool. Ivar and Lena, good to have all of you guys here with us. Today is going to be our stream, but there's also going to be a special guest appearance by Robbie from Robbie's Reptiles, and he and we're going to talk a little bit about the giveaway, specifically how to enter. This is really washing out my face right there. How to enter the giveaway, what to expect when he's going to do the giveaway. I just saw his latest numbers, and it looks like he's almost at his goal before he does the giveaway. If you don't know what the giveaway is going to be for, let me show you this real quick. This is Robbie's Instagram profile, and the giveaway is going to be for this lily white right here, which is absolutely amazing. I have wanted a lily white crested gecko ever since I saw them, and so I think it's a really great opportunity. I saw it last minute, and I was like, hey, I'm going to sign up. And then I asked him last minute if he wanted to come onto the live stream and just promote it real quick, because it looks like he's going to be doing it pretty soon here. So before we get started, welcome to our show. If this is your first time visiting us, my name is Frank, also known as the Geeky Gecko, owner-operator of Geeky Gecko Creations. This is our Monday night live stream where we talk everything about geckos, reptiles, hobby, future, answer your questions, all that. Really quick, I do want to announce that we did confirm that we will have Tiki's Geckos live with us for 1 hour on Friday. Now, I got a question for you guys. We got a ton of people in here right now. Our first Friday, which was supposed to be kickoff Friday, you know, our guest canceled, which is okay, but we did not get a lot of people in on that stream compared to Monday nights. So my question to you guys, and please drop a comment in the chat because I'm looking for your advice here. My question is, would Monday night work better for us to interview people, or do you want me to do 2 live streams a week? So Monday will be my live stream with you guys. Friday will be my live stream with breeders. And maybe even if that many people are not able to make it on Friday, you could always watch back the live stream. I just really want to be conscientious of the people that I invite on because they're giving an hour of their time, and I really want to make sure that they get good promotion and it's worth it for them. So throughout this chat, I'll be looking to see your guys' comments on that. Please let me know. Saturday or Sunday won't work for a show because we do a live stream on Monday, so I don't want to make it too close to each other. So, and Thursday night, I can't do a stream. So it's either Monday and Friday, for now, it's either Monday and Friday or just Monday. You guys let me know. If you want 2 live streams a week, I believe I can commit to that and we will do it. But if a lot of people are not able to make it Friday, then hey, we're just going to look forward to 1 live stream a week where everybody's able to come in and collaborate, and we'll just do it on Monday nights because look, this is really healthy, great chat already. Let me make sure my phone is on here. He does have the stream key, so he should pop in whenever. He's a busy guy. Again, like I said, this is not an official interview with him. It's just he's going to come on, and then in the future, we will do an interview with him because if you don't know about this guy, he's got photography lessons that he does, business lessons. He's invested tens of thousands of dollars into crested geckos, so he is heavily invested to be a named breeder and competitor in this business. He's got a lot of knowledge, a lot of gecko just experience and pretty cool stuff. He's got a YouTube channel, so I'm definitely going to promote him. Now, before we do that, quick word from our sponsor, Rainbow Mealworms. You know that I love these guys. If you need Discord roaches, if you need parasite-free fecal test for reptiles, that's pretty cool. They do that. I just ordered a bunch of these accessory bowls because, as you guys know, we just redid our gecko racks. So if you have not been watching our stories on Instagram, We redid our gecko racks because now I'm going to be making bigger tubs for our geckos, and also experimenting with group keeping and breeding. So that's going to be pretty fun. But I just bought a bunch of these small feeder dishes, which are perfect for one size gecko, or you could get the large feeder dishes, which is perfect for a bigger reptile. And of course, if you need your mealworms, they have their 4 standard sizes. You could go choose your option. They have some of the best pricing for mealworms. I mean, I don't even know other competitors' pricing. That's how much I love Rainbow mealworms, but I've never had an issue with their pricing. And as you can see, you could choose small, medium, large. For leopard geckos, you're always going to be choosing medium or large. And same thing with crested geckos. You can feed crested geckos mealworms, guys. Don't believe the rumors that you cannot. I've done it. Wally from Supreme Geckos has done it for years, and it really beefs up your baby crested geckos. And I'll be doing it with our gargoyle geckos soon. So anyway, if you buy in bulk from them on the mealworms, you will save money. And if you don't know, you can keep mealworms in the refrigerator for up to 3 months and they will not go bad. So shout out to Rainbow mealworms. They are awesome. So let's see what we got going on here. Let me see some of the comments. Friday mornings, I don't think that'll work because sometimes I get up late because I'm up all night for another live stream. Saturday or Sundays work best. 2 live streams a week. 2 live streams a week. I messaged you about the 3 gargoyle geckos. You want them? Oh, Haley, you want them? That's awesome. I will get back to you. You got them. If you want them for that price that we talked about, you got them. So we can show what Haley's going to get here real quick. She just bought the remaining of our gargoyle geckos. Gargoyle geckos are awesome. I really enjoy them. I decided to start getting more heavily into gargoyle geckos, so we invested in some pretty expensive breeders. I don't have, actually, I think I do have some pictures of the breeders on our Instagram page, but I didn't officially make a lot of time to take pictures of them and stuff like that yet, because I've kind of been growing that project, not secretively, but my time is limited, right? I only have so much time to promote things and put pictures. And so since we're known for leopard geckos, I do a lot of that leopard gecko promotion until I'm ready. But here's a gargoyle gecko that was hatching out. I think gargoyle geckos and crested geckos are so fun to hatch out. They do grow at a little bit of a slower pace, but if they're in a warmer room and you feed them bugs, then they will grow fast. So here's a couple of, we invested in these 2 gals. I think we spent $1,200 on these 2 girls, and you can see the coverage of red pattern that's really good for gargoyle geckos. And one of the reasons I wanted to invest heavily in gargoyle geckos is because not a lot of people are investing in them. They do, the top end animals do sell pretty good, and they do go for lots of money, and they're pretty fun. To me, a gargoyle gecko is a little bit better looking than a crested gecko. I don't know. It's tough. Crested gecko comes in more morphs, but gargoyle gecko is just really cool with its horned appearance, and it has the reddest color in the gecko kingdom, if you want to put it that way, compared to any other gecko. So little shout out to the gargoyle breeding operation. I definitely want to scale that. Any leopard gecko breeder? Wait, what are we talking about here, Arthur? A lot of people are leopard gecko breeders in here since this is primarily a leopard gecko channel. So here we'll shout out Core. If you want to go follow Core, I'm working on perfecting magnetic gecko ledges. Do you use any yourself? So I don't use any myself right now. If I kept the crested geckos or gargoyle geckos in a glass terrarium, then I absolutely would use that. But since I keep them in plastic, I mainly use the noodle method, right? Noodles on the wall and disposable cups. So Arthur, we do not have any African fat tail at this moment. I would maybe like to get into African fat tails in the future. I really do like their colors. I think that they are pretty cool, pretty awesome species. I heard that they are very cricket dependent compared to mealworm dependent, especially when you get into the girls and breeding the girls. And the girls lose a weight really quickly, so you really need to be on top of their cricket meals or cockroach meals. And so for now, that would just change up my routine too much because I only do mealworms. for a couple of reasons. Mealworms are the less likely to have parasites. That you could put them in the refrigerator for 3 months and then feed them to your reptiles at any point during that 3 months. They're quick, they're cheap, they're easy to use. They give your geckos all the nutrition they need. So the fact that fat tails in bulk, I know some fat tails do eat mealworms, but fat tails in bulk, from what I hear, are not geared towards survival on mealworms. That kind of turns me away a little bit at the moment. But I'll probably be back to them. You know what I mean? I'll probably revisit that at some point in the future because I do think they're pretty cool. My face is like washed out here. I'm trying to make it so it's not washed out. Brightness. Too much brightness. Okay. Let's see if we can. At least I got a new desk light, so I don't have to take one light and go back and forth between my video room. The next video I'm going to do, I'm not going to tell you the next video I'm going to do, but I'm going to do it, and some of you guys will probably like it, and I'll probably release it over the next couple of days. I've just been busy. Let me show you what I've been busy with. I have been busy with making leopard gecko racks. Check this out. So I've made racks. I've made a couple of these racks over the last couple of days. So this is the start of me building adult group racks, and you'll see what that looks like here in a second. So this is the finish of it. It's pretty cool. Function really well, really nice and not too tight. There you go. Remodeling has begun. So I am converting most of our adult leopard geckos over to groups, and we're going to experiment with group breeding because I think that's going to be awesome. So Dragonheart Exotics, how are you doing? Oh, and it's always fun showing the groups. Let me see. Here's some of the groups. Look how many hearts that this got. A lot of people like seeing groups. 210 hearts in just a couple. Now, here's the cool thing about groups. I can show you a group, right? And you could be like, oh, man, I really want a gecko from that group. So, like, let's say this is group 1, right? This is Afghanicus Black Knight group. So you're like, oh, I really want an Afghanicus Black Knight baby. I could reserve you a baby. Let's say you want a pure Black Knight from group 2. You could say, hey, I want a pure Black Knight from group 2. Those females are looking good. I could reserve you a baby. You know, group 3, another Black Knight group. Group 4 is bold stripe, white and yellow. Group 5 is Inferno Tangerine, bold. This group, somebody asked me, what does it look like when you cross a Black Knight to a Super Snow? This is what the babies look like. So this is generation 1 right here. You can see some babies are darker than others. All of these are snow, and all of these are 50% Black Knight. Sometimes they fire up lighter or darker depending on mood, temperature, all that kind of stuff can happen with, you know, the Black Knights to a certain degree. But these are 50%. They are going to get crossed back to our pure Black Knight male, and we will create 75% Black Knights from this group. Some of them will be snow, others of them will not be snow. What's up from Las Vegas, Ace? Here is like our most anticipated Inferno Mandarin group. This boy has been breeding dozens of girls this year, dozens of times. He's probably bred over a couple hundred times this season already, including repairs. Look at the fire that he's producing. So this boy, he started to lose his color because he's getting over 2 years old and he's breeding constantly every single day of the year. But look at what he produces. Like, look at that kind of like deep orange. And then eventually I would like to take that deep orange and start implementing dark greens and also blacks into it. So we will be working on that project over the next couple of years. These are our Infernos. You can see this girl right here has super, let's go back to 100% here. This girl right here has super wonky pattern, very, very like diamond-like pattern, so we call her Widow. Again, all of these girls have been breeding a couple seasons, so their colors are washed out. But don't be fooled. Those girls produce fire like this. Like, this is the offspring of what you just saw right now. And you can see how fire that is. You can see how fire this is. This is the offspring of our Mandarin Inferno. You can see, just as a little baby, like the richness of their color. These are our snow Afghanicuses, which is pretty cool. You guys know I'm a big promoter of the wild type projects. So, let me get back to some questions on stream here. Any super high reds? Maybe you're talking about. See, here's another really nice one. Mandarin Inferno Cross. Check it out. So I don't have pictures of all of our Gargoyle geckos, but the male that we bought, let me see if I can find a picture of the male. He is really, really intense red. And when he pairs with these two girls, oh boy, do I expect some fire to come out of that. Let's see, is this him? No, this was another girl that we had. Wait, was this Brooke's girl? You guys know who Brooke was, our volunteer. Was this Brooke's girl or is this one that I bought? She's a female orange red blotch gargoyle. I can't remember anymore. I spent like $2,000-$3,000 on gargoyle gecko breeders, and I spent way more than I should have. I was in the hole. It was bad. I had to talk to my investor partner and just be like, hey, look, I'm sorry. I overspent. I'm in debt right now. Can you help? Can you help me out? Right. Oh, here's our boy. Check this guy out. Look at that red. This is the boy that we bought, and we got a steal of a price for him. Guys, I'm a deal guy. I always look for deals. You go on Craigslist, you go on Facebook Marketplace, you will find some deals. We got this boy for like $300, and look at the intense. That is intense red and coverage. He could easily sell at breeder size what he was easily from a reputable breeder that was posting him up and not willing to sell him cheap. They would post him up for $1,000 easy. I got him, I think, for $350. And now he's going to be breeding to these girls that I spent, good money on. But again, I worked a deal for those girls as well. So most of the reptile hobby is always deals. Not all the time, but again, look at this saturation. This is our Mandarin Inferno crosses. So you can see really nice saturation of orange. It also produces like these darker oranges, which I think will go really good with Black Knight because of the possible NDBE influence. So I would love to make a NDBE Black Knight. I think that'd be super cool. Here is not Pudge. What did I name her? Bug Eyes. I named her Buggy. Bugs because of her eyes. Look at their bug eyes right here. Her structure and everything, the way she looks. But gargoyle geckos are really cool. I really like science fiction fantasy. So like I watched Gargoyles when I was growing up. You guys remember the show Gargoyles? And they look exactly like the show. It's super cool. So I'm really excited to continue the gargoyle gecko breeding and operation. I think gargoyle geckos are taking off. Crested geckos are taking off a lot faster right now just because of the influence of a couple very expensive genes that have hit the market. But if you're not buying into those expensive genes, the lower end stuff for crested geckos is very competitive. It's tough to get an edge because the low end stuff sells for 30, 40, 50, 60 bucks, and that's really not a lot of money. Versus gargoyle geckos is a little less competitive. There's less breeders in it right now, so you can sell them for a little bit higher price because there's less out there. Let me actually show you a great example of studying the market. So you go to Morph Market, you can go to every animal and see how many animals are for sale. There are 2,352 leopard geckos for sale right now, okay? You go to gargoyle geckos, there's only 597, way less competitive. If you are a breeder in the leopard gecko world right now, you have to compete against 2,000 other ads in Morph Market. But if you're a gargoyle breeder, you're only competing against 600 ads. Not bad. Now check out crested geckos. It's going to be very similar to leopard geckos, I'd imagine. 2,700, even more than leopard geckos because crested geckos has become more popular. So a lot of people are jumping into crested geckos because they think they can make money. But the main money on crested geckos right now is being made on higher end stuff. So if you're not investing $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 into crested geckos, you're going to be stuck competing in this very difficult competitive market of the lower end stuff. 20, 30, 100, to $200 market, you're going to be competing in that market, and you're not going to get the profits that you're looking for. So that's just a little bit of awareness. That might be why Bam Bam and his girlfriend decided to go with Gargoyle Geckos instead. It's a less competitive market. And I will say this. People are starting to notice that Gargoyle Geckos are on the rise. So big breeders that sell crested geckos at wholesale for very, very cheap, they're starting to breed Gargoyle Geckos. Now they're saving all of their Gargoyle Geckos because the demand for Gargoyle Geckos is a little bit higher than the supply right now. I wanted to show Robbie this first, but since you guys are here, in light of tonight's themed live stream, check this out. Repashy coffee. Did you guys know that Repashy, there's the Gargoyle Gecko diet right there, Gargoyle Crested Gecko. Did you know that they make coffee? Good coffee. Bugs. Just kidding. I washed out an old thing of this just for the stream so that I could use it. So a lot of people ask, why do I use this as my coffee mug? My experience with coffee mugs, they leak for the most part, or they're difficult to wash. There's a lot of moving parts. They don't fit underneath the K-cup Keurig thing. A lot of condensation builds up around the lip, and then it gets on your hands, and coffee is sticky, and then you got to wash your hands. I don't like all of that. The reason I need a lid in my house is because we have fruit flies from time to time, from the dubia roaches and what else? Dubia roaches, mainly the dubia roaches. And sometimes fruit flies get into the incubator and start eating away at like decaying gecko eggs or whatever. So that makes more fruit flies. The fruit flies get into everything. So I need something with a lid. And then I am very minimalistic. I like less moving parts. So people at work, when I worked at Allstate, they would make fun of me all the time because I would come in with like orange. This is not an orange juice container, but I would come in with like orange juice containers. And they would be like, why do you drink water out of an orange juice container? And I'd be like, look, it's simple. Less moving parts. I have one lid and I have one bottle. All of those like metal things you buy, there's so many, there's rubber pieces that could go bad. There's hinges that could go bad. There's, it's just big and bulky and cumbersome. And all of that gathers bacteria much more easy than this. I could rinse this out in 2 seconds, but those like big metal, aluminum water bottle things, you really have to like soak those out and wash them so they don't get like green slime bacteria buildup and stuff. So there you go. Simplistic. What's good, Henry Hicks? Yeah, Gargoyle Geckos are super cool. And they're a little bit more of a predator compared to crested geckos. So this is how it goes in the wild. All crested geckos, Gargoyle Geckos, and Leachianus geckos are all from the same island, right? So believe it or not, the biggest geckos live at the highest area because the biggest geckos, which is the Leachianus gecko, which stands for, I think, like king gecko or something, is their scientific name. They eat gargoyle geckos, which live in the mid-layer of the jungle. Gargoyle geckos eat crested geckos, which live at the bottom layer of the jungle. So crested geckos try to stay away from the top layers because the predators live up there and they are trying to consume the prey. So really cool stuff. Fascinating that I found all of that out. I do plan to get Leachy geckos one day. I'll be so excited. But for now, I'm happy with crested and gargoyle. I like the fact that crested geckos have more morphs, but I like the look of a gargoyle gecko a little bit better, and they're a little bit more predatorial, right? So, like, I'm big into Jurassic Park. Please don't ruin it for me yet. I had tickets for the first weekend that the new Jurassic World movie was released, but I had to cancel those tickets because I think my wife got sick or my mom had a surprise thing. Whatever the case was, I had to cancel the tickets, and we're going to reschedule for like a couple weeks from now. I have not seen the new Jurassic World movie yet, so please don't ruin it for me. I already saw some YouTube videos about like a Gigantosaurus fighting the Tyrannosaurus, and that was already spoiler enough. I don't know. I don't like to know what's going to happen in the movie before it does, which is why I'm so mad at previews nowadays. I always look at my wife and I'm like, why did they just show the whole movie in the preview? I'm watching The Bachelor. I'm watching America's Got Talent. I'm watching the Mayans. Mayans does a good job of not showing you too much of what's to come. But any movie trailer, they show you the whole movie in a minute before they show you every like interesting part of the movie, and I'm just like, why did you just show me the whole movie? Now there's no like interest left to peak in my brain, you know. So I don't like that they're doing that nowadays. But so we have Gargoyle geckos breeding right now. We have 1 female, 2 females, 3 females. We have 3 or 4 females that are in breeding right now. Gargoyle geckos, unlike crested leopard geckos, they lay every single month. So crested and gargoyle geckos, they lay every single month, year round, and leopard geckos lay twice a month for half of the year, if you want to look at it that way, you know, like a third of the year, you know. So we will have gargoyles up for sale probably within a couple months because they need to hatch and then they need to grow. Gargoyle geckos and crested geckos do grow slower than leopard geckos. BHB, let's take a look at BHB. I copied his breeding method of leopard geckos. Let me show you. Leopard gecko breeding BHB. So if you guys don't know who BHB is, it is Brian Barczyk. Okay, let me say that. Oh, you didn't get to see that. Sorry.
No shed on the
you guys can hear this sound, right? Let me know if you can hear the sound.
We're going to be unboxing these headphones that I bought online. See the
So, but also when you're breeding them, it acts as a great egg substrate.
Okay, let me pause that real quick. Brian Barczyk is really awesome. He did a lot for the hobby that people give him too much negativity for. You know, so whenever you are a business, there's just certain ways you have to do things on scale that not a lot of people are going to agree with. They're not going to like not everyone's going to like the fact that you keep geckos in tubs, in racks. Not everyone's going to like the fact that you only feed geckos mealworms. Not everyone's going to like the fact that you're housing 4 females for every 1 male in a giant tub. Not everyone's going to like those facts, but that's what it takes to be successful as a leopard gecko breeder, as a leopard gecko business. So you got to do what you got to do from a business perspective. And he has gotten so much negativity over the years for geckos, snakes, all kinds of stuff. But the thing about Brian, he has brought more people into the hobby and more money into the hobby, that everyone that's complaining about him is actually making money off of the people that he's brought into the hobby. So I'll leave it at that. Brian's an awesome guy. I look up to the dude.
So they'll actually bury their eggs in that substrate.
Can you hear this? Okay, cool.
To stay hydrated and hatch well.
Now,
let's take a look at the simplicity of keeping leopard geckos, in particular in a breeding setting. We just keep paper on the bottom. It's really easy to clean, and it just helps us keep things as sanitary as possible. The one thing you probably want to stay away from is sand, because sand can impact leopard geckos. As a matter of fact, our new product line will have a replacement sand that.
I don't know if it's this video. Maybe it's this one. 300 gecko eggs. I don't know which video it was, guys. Maybe it was somewhere. Maybe it was somewhere in this video and I just missed it. But he talks about how his breeding method is 4 females to 1 male in these giant bins, which are just about 28 to 30 quart bins, and that makes it so that the females don't get overrun by the male. So if you put a male and a female together overnight, the male is constantly going to be trying to breed that female all night, and really bad things can happen. I have seen pictures of females that got their arms ripped off from a male because they were in with the male overnight. Other females get really beat up if they're in with the male overnight. So a good opportunity Or if they're in with the male continuously, especially, they'll get beat up. Because usually once a female breeds, she doesn't want to breed anymore. She's going to run away, but the male's going to keep chasing her and want to breed with her. So when you have 4 females in one tub, like Brian's showing here, when you have 4 females in one big tub, it allows for the male to breed with all of those females instead of just the one female, and no one female gets beat up too much. Okay, so if you were to go to Morph Market, so that's my thoughts on Brian. Brian's an awesome guy. That's all I have to say. I've looked up to him forever in the reptile world. He is really cool. So this is a good question. Henry Hicks says, are Black Knight hets worth doing anything with? So Henry, my bro, please go to Geeky Gecko Creations Black Knight. Watch our Black Knight video, how to start a Black Knight project. A matter of fact, let me make this easier for you. Let me drop it in the chat. I'm going to put the link to this video in the chat. Black Knights are what is called a line bred trait. Whoa. Hey now, we don't want to be showing off too much skin. You can't control what ads get placed on your videos. So watch this video. Black Knights are what's called a line bred trait. Line bred traits are very different than het traits, which is what you're talking about, Mendelian traits. I'm also going to link a playlist here that I recommend you watching these videos. Where is it? This guy's really cool. Andre Bocelli's son. Awesome. Andre Bocelli. Awesome singer. Great singer. It's not showing me the playlist so easily there, so let's go here. I'm going to leave you a link to, just so you can see the comments I have to go through. Oh, it doesn't show you how many comments. Whoa, this should be like hundreds. Unless Whitney has been, I've been telling Whitney to answer comments for me. Maybe she has been. I don't know. This does not look right because there was hundreds of comments here that I had to get back to. Doopy 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 doo. I know you're here. I know you're here. Here we go. Line breeding. Here we go. Genetics. We have 6 genetics videos. I'm going to send you a link to this whole playlist. There is a difference between dominant and recessive genes and line bred genes. So please binge watch these videos. It will definitely explain and answer the questions for you in detail. But basically, there's no such thing as a het Black Knight. When dealing with line bred traits, there's only percentages of what a baby actually is. So if you take a Black Knight and you breed them to a non-Black Knight, all of those babies will be 50% Black Knight because the Black Knight's genetics get cut in half every single time it passes on to its babies. Does that make sense? So if you take a 50% Black Knight and you take a 50% Black Knight and you breed them together, all of the babies will be 50% Black Knights because the parent over here, its DNA gets cut in half and it passes on 25% Black Knight genetics. And this gecko over here, which is 50% Black Knight, its DNA gets cut in half and it passes on 25% Black Knight. But you have to add those two together from mom and from dad. And what do you get when you add 25 and 25? You get 50. So I need to make a video on calculating the percentages of line bred traits. But line breeding is very different than dominant and recessive breeding. So Black Knight, Tangerine, those are in the line bred genetics. Brian for Future Breeder Friday. Oh man, I would love Brian. I don't think I'm anywhere on that guy's radar to get an interview with him. But if I can, you bet your bottom dollar I'll get him on the show. I just don't think there's I don't know. I don't think there's a chance in God's good heaven that I will get him on the show anytime in the near future. But I've been wrong before. Praying for a miracle, you never know. So, yeah, so gargoyle geckos, things come in and out of fashion, right? So, like, leopard geckos is kind of out of fashion right now, which is why the hobby is so snarky, because all the people that are ruling the hobby, they're like, oh, this is our hobby. We want to keep this hobby. But through more promotion like we're doing on this channel, leopard geckos will be back on the rise, and people will be flooding back to leopard geckos when they see how fast they grow, how many colors they come in, how cool leopard geckos are, how easy they are to breed, how fun they are to feed because they're like little dinosaurs. That will bring people back in the masses and ultimately allow for the hobby to grow. So you almost snagged a lychee for 500. Yeah. But here's the thing. There will always be a lychee for sale. There will always be this. There will always be that. So don't worry too much about what you get and what you miss. You know what I mean? Yeah, Robbie is the guest for today. But have you guys guessed? Well, some of you guys know because you were here earlier. But we officially got word today that somebody has confirmed for this Friday. So I need to hype them up, guys. I do not want to disappoint. I want him to be super happy to come into a packed house on Friday. We are actually going to do it same time that I'm doing this live stream right now. 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, which is 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, which is 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. We are going to have on the one, the only. Let me go over to his Instagram. Can you guys guess who it is? Can you guys guess who it is? It's another crested gecko breeder. Unfortunately, all the leopard gecko breeders hate me. Just kidding. Not all of them, but I've looked up to this guy forever. And I reached out to him recently because his account got deleted at 100,000 subscribers. And I want to do my part to help him get promoted back. The one, the only, Mr. Tiki himself. Of Tiki's Geckos.
Action time of some of our animals.
Now, I am on the leopard gecko side of things. He is primarily on the crested gecko side of things. We both keep multiple species, but his number one passion is crested and gargoyle geckos. My number one passion is leopard geckos. So we're like opposite gecko people, so to speak. But I feel like we have a lot of similarities when it comes to content promotion and content creation. So I've looked up to him as a YouTube content creator for so long. So it's an honor for me to have him on. I really want to hype up this week so that we can have a lot of people here to support him. This Friday, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, we will have him on for 1 hour. It's going to be good. I'm going to think of some questions. If you guys got questions to ask him, bring it live or give it to me ahead of time, and we will do that. Yeah, I need to go see the new Top Gun. What's his name is in it as well, right? Tom Cruise. He's in the new Top Gun as well. Do all Diablo Blanco come from ... Sorry, I don't know if... Oh, do all Diablo Blanco come from Trempers? Yes. Because the first albinos, I believe, the first albinos were Trempers. And so Tremper, like, got into everything. So a lot of people had to take Diablo Blancos to make the Bell version of Diablo Blanco. They just test bred animals to make sure that animals were not het for Tremper and het for Bell. And so the animals that proved that they were not het for Tremper, those animals went on to start creating the radars, which is the Bell version of the Diablo Blanco. But originally, from conversations that I've heard, all radars, which is a Diablo Blanco Bell version, all of them came from Diablo Blancos, which is the Tremper version. And same with the rainwater. They had to get Tremper out of rainwater and Tremper out of Bell. So all of that experimentation and stuff happened years ago, and then they wound up developing clean lines of Bell and clean lines of rainwater after breeding it with Tremper originally, because Tremper was so far along in the Tangerine, the Eclipse project, compared to Bell and rainwater. They used Trempers to infuse Tangerine and infuse Eclipse into Bell and rainwater. So great question. Again, I would love to have on older breeders to talk about that kind of history, but a lot of them don't want to be on our show. I want to promote them. I want to give them a bigger following, because a lot of them don't have the biggest followings, but they don't want to come on our show because they disagree with me breeding lemon frost, and they disagree with me teaching and having an outlet for others to learn, because they think that I shouldn't be teaching. So, okay, maybe we'll be able to cross that bridge one day, but for now, there's a roadblock. There's a roadblock that's saying no enter, no exit, and we'll see. We'll see. But I would love to get some older breeders onto the show to learn a little bit more about history, because a lot of that stuff is word of mouth, right? So, like, I know not everybody in here is religious, but this is basically how the Bible got passed down orally before it got passed down written-wise, because for the most part, in the days of Jesus, most people were storytellers rather than writers. They didn't have pens. They didn't have pencils. They didn't have parchment papers to so easily just write stuff on. Not everybody was educated to write stuff up on. Yes, they did record stuff, but it wasn't in the masses like we do today. So audible storytelling was very, very important. You had to be able to memorize, and you had to be able to learn off of the oral traditions and studies that were passed on from others. And that's kind of the leopard gecko hobby in a way. Not a lot of people have physically documented, made videos, wrote articles about the history of leopard geckos. So we're kind of stuck not knowing a lot of stuff. Or theorizing. But trust me, I've done a lot of research. I've talked to a lot of breeders. So all the knowledge that I have is kind of pieced together from all of that. You know what I mean? What's going on, Derek? Good to have you here. Better late than never. Gecko house duty. Geckos are important, man. You got to prioritize the geckos. Ethan, I'm cleaning and feeding racks as I watch. Yes, I love Brian. I have a beautiful male in my group that came from him in his 2019 group. Came to be very healthy, ready to breed. A+ to you. Is Brian's name spelled with a Y or an I? Let me see here. Brian. It is spelled with an I, yeah. So he does have his YouTube channel here. I don't always drink coffee, but when I drink coffee, it must be Crested Gecko coffee or nothing. So this is Grubs and Fruit coffee, for any of you guys who missed it. I brew my coffee with the Grubs and Fruit Crested and Gargoyle Gecko diet, just for a little bit of extra protein, a little bit of extra kick to get me going. Guys, I'm so excited. I'm sorry I can't show this, but you might not be able to understand how I'm tracking here. But I spent the last 2 days building these racks. Let me show you the racks that I spent the last 2 days building, and then I'm going to tell you why it's something I discovered that's very significant.
I will make a video for this build.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, so I spent the last couple days making these 2 racks. What these racks are they are big tubs for leopard geckos. So we are setting our leopard geckos up in giant groups now. So let me see if I have a picture of the giant groups. No. This is just like a temporary holding tub, but all of these geckos are getting set up. You can see that in this picture here, all of those tubs are full. So there's 4 females per tub and 1 male per tub. And so that holds 5 geckos total. And you can't see it, but there's racks off to the side that I realized, I wish I could show you. I'll do a video on it. But I realized that if I remove 2 of the 12 quart containers, I could fit 1 of the giant 28 quart containers in there, which means I don't need to build any more racks tomorrow or this week because I have tons of space that could be used for more 28 quart tubs. After this live stream, I'm probably going to go to Walmart and buy all the 28 quart tubs that they have because I just realized this. Ron Tremper has a YouTube channel. He's not in leopard geckos anymore. He's on some YouTube channels and whatnot. But Ron Tremper has a leopard gecko channel. I need to binge watch all of these videos that I have not seen of his because I don't think I've seen them all. But check out the way he sets up his tubs.
So fat. Brendan, you're not fat.
We are going to mimic something similar to this because it will allow for us to make much more geckos.
Welcome to another edition of Incubator Insight.
All right, so let me say this. Some of you guys might not agree with group breeding or group keeping, but some of the best geckos come out of those scenarios because when you could breed geckos in mass, that allows for you to get the best odds of success. So if I take 100 tangerines and I breed all of those 100 tangerine females, out of those 1,000 babies that I make, the odds of me having top quality animals out of those 1,000 babies is much higher than if I only take 10 females that are individually housed in tubs and I only create 100 geckos. The odds of high quality genetics coming out of those 100 geckos is lower than the odds of high quality genetics coming out of the 1,000 geckos just from a sheer number basis. So take that for what it's worth. Hi, Effie. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, baby. You probably hear him now. Wait. I can't pick her up because she's not a pickup cat. But let's show Ron. Show him how it's done, Ron.
I've collected these babies today, and I want to show you how we set them up. Here's our typical configuration for you.
By the way, Ron is the godfather of leopard geckos, as my cousin and I call him, because he marketed leopard geckos in a way that that very few people have. Ron Tremper, Matt Baronic of Sasselbeck Reptiles, they are the 2 best leopard gecko marketers in the world. And Ron's out of the picture. Matt left the hobby for 10 years, but now he's coming back. And I think that is one of the best things that can happen for the leopard gecko hobby because he will be back on his marketing stick. But anyway, let's check out Ron, the Godfather Tremper.
Young, we've got the water dish, a couple of little brown paper towels, a meat tray, another meat tray back on the hot spot. So what we do is we put 6 babies per box. Oh, here you see that we have the feed dish. This is Vionate. That's mentioned in my books, online, and also in my apps, so you can find out where to get that easily by doing a Google. So we just take the babies, and I put 6 per box. Turn over the hide box, and gather them up. 3 more. Okay. And 6. So we got 6 young. Now we're going to do a little bit of water here, and we let this spill in the front. by capillary action, the rest of the paper towel gets wet. That wetness doesn't bother them. They're going to shed their skin within 48 hours. And then on the third day, we start placing mealworms in this dish. Full-size mealworms we've used for over 30 years with no problems. So N for normal, and today's date, 6 babies, and that's how we...
So there you go. Ron Tremper sets his babies up in those giant tubs, 6 at a time. We are probably going to mimic something similar to that because we hatch so many geckos with the same genetics. It's just more efficient to house them together instead of separately because it's less work for you to clean one tub rather than it is to clean 20 tubs. You know what I mean? So I might experiment with keeping anywhere between 6 to 10 babies in a tub of that size. He also has really cool videos on how to get little baby leopard geckos to eat that maybe are not eating. I don't know where that video is, but he rips the head off of a mealworm, touches it to the mouth of the baby, and then that stimulates the baby to know the smell of food and starts eating. So Ron, that's why Ron's the godfather. He also wrote some of the only books in the leopard gecko hobby. I don't know anyone else who's popular for writing books. And he has, he recorded and documented all of his findings, like really, really good. So, there's almost nobody that did it like Ron, you know. Lisa, what's going on, Lisa? Wait, where did I leave off at here? I see some good questions coming up. So when you have leopard gecko babies, how do you know what to call them? So if you're talking about like name, like Sue or Patty, I usually leave the naming up to my wife and Brooke, our volunteer, because I've gotten to the point where I don't care about naming anymore. I just care about labels and IDs and that kind of stuff because that, you know, allows me to sell the geckos. So if you're talking about naming, that's my wife and Brooke's role, mainly. Passion, so to speak. So I just let them run with that. I'll name a gecko every now and then. And I've had a lot of names for geckos when I was only keeping like a couple dozen geckos. But now that I've like hundreds of geckos, too much for me. My brain can only focus on so much. So, but if you're talking about like genetics of geckos, you just have to know what different genes look like. So like, for example, can you close the door, hon? Sound. Whitney's mad because a truck was honking at her in the neighborhood. Because she's a cautious driver, because she's a woman. Just kidding. I'm going to get in trouble for that. I'm a much more cautious driver now that I'm an adult as well, you know? So she was like, Whitney was like waiting at a stop sign, and a truck was like waiting for her to go, and she didn't go, so the truck was like honking at her, so Whitney was like getting mad. Whitney gets mad. Much more mad than I do. What was I going to show? I forget what how do you know what to call geckos? So, for example, I know this is a bold striped leopard gecko because of these black stripes going down its side. I know this is an Afghanicus leopard gecko because of the pattern. I know this is this comes from bold and bold stripe genetics and emerine genetics because you can see some of that purple hue there. That was green, that turned, you know, purple, that turned green and or whatever. So I know this comes from eclipse genetics. I know this comes from Mandarin Infernal genetics. And this is a snow. I could tell because it's all white as a baby. So you just have to know what genetics are in the parents, and then you have to know a little bit about how to ID them as babies. And Ethan mentioned, Ethan gave the same answer I just did. By knowing what genetics are in the parents, and also by knowing what genetics look like what. You have to know what a snow looks like. You have to know what a albino looks like, which is why I recommend you watch my video, which is Geeky Gecko Creations. All leopard gecko morphs. This is like the leopard gecko Bible. If you want a leopard gecko Bible, this is what I learned from. How you can learn all leopard gecko morphs. Watch this video of mine, and I will show you how to learn all leopard gecko morphs on your own. It comes from a website called Leopard Gecko Wiki, and it's basically a dictionary / Bible of leopard gecko genetics. Some of these genetics are not the most up to date because it is an old website, but it will give you about 85 to 90% of everything you need to know, which is an amazing percentage. Diablo Blanco is the name for Tremper. The other albinos have similar versions. Yeah, I think they call the rainwater Diablo Blanco, I think, is a cyclone or a typhoon, and then the Bell version of what is it? The Bell version of Diablo Blanco is called a radar. So what's your opinion on Albie Snows? So I actually don't know much about Albie Snows, but we can go over to Leopard Gecko Wiki. I think Albie Snows are a little bit more rare, and from what I'm told, they don't have a super version, and they also appear a little bit more white. So I don't see snow there. Super Snow Albino, Super Snow, Super Snow. So Albie Snow is not there. So you'll have to talk to breeders that work with Albie Snow. I know that you can message Matt Baronic. So if you don't know who Matt is, he's Sasselbeck Reptiles. Sasselbeck Reptiles on Instagram and Facebook. You can message him. So you could send him a message and just say, hey, Matt, can you tell me a little bit more about Albie Snows? Or where can I find more information on Albie Snows? Because he was like Albie's best friend, from what I'm told. He worked hand in hand with Albie. And so he worked hand in hand with Albie. So he knows Albie personally, if I'm thinking of the correct Albie. And he can kind of give you a little bit more insight into that. But it's basically just another snow line. Albie Snow, Max Snow, Gem Snow, Tug Snow. Some people say Gem and Tug are the same snow. Kind of unproven in the hobby. Who knows? I like to work with just Max Snow because it has a super form. And I want to mess around with like Super Max Snow Fasciolatus, Super Max Snow Afghanicus. Those kinds of things. You know what I mean? So I don't know what to think about Albie just yet. If I wind up getting more experience with Albie, I'll let you know. To keep it simple, I've chosen to only work with Tremper Albino right now because then everything in my collection can breed to itself. I've only chosen to work with Max Snow right now because that keeps it simple. I could create supers and breed everything to itself. White and yellow. Yeah, So I am not doing the Lily White giveaway. It's going to be Robbie. Let me show you his Instagram because I'm waiting to hear from him. He's supposed to be coming on sometime over the next half hour, just briefly, just to say hi, introduce himself, and promote the giveaway. This Crested Gecko is worth $1,250. Oops. This Crested Gecko is worth $1,250. If you want to enter this giveaway, it is on his website, his Instagram. So go over to Robbie's Reptiles. Let me see. I think his YouTube is over. I think his YouTube is over the threshold now too. I think he might have gotten like 60 subscribers today just because of this giveaway. But as soon as you go to his Instagram, he has really cool stuff. He spent a lot of money on some really high dollar stuff. This is going to be the gecko in question for the giveaway. This guy has some really cool geckos too. And if he's entering the giveaway, then you know, oh, you have to tag. I need to tag 3 friends. So share this post and follow Robbie's Reptiles. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Tag 3 friends. Extra points if you follow at American Geckos. So this must be another channel of his. So oops. Yeah, whoops. I'm going to follow him on American. I'm going to follow him on American Geckos. And I'm also going to, so I have to share this post. I already follow him. I have to share this post. So let me see. Share to, I don't know if he actually means repost the post, because reposting is different than sharing, right? So like I could share to anybody. Like I could share to Haley. I know Haley. So I could share the post to Haley, but that's not reposting. So I need to ask him if reposting is important here. Subscribe to his YouTube. Tag 3 friends. Extra points if you follow. I followed here. So now I'm going to comment. I'm going to say, hey, Robbie, I shared this post. I followed you on American Geckos, Robbie's Reptiles, and YouTube. And here are my 3 friends I'm tagging. So here's how you tag 3 friends. You do the @ symbol. And then as soon as you type in like a letter, it should start recommending people that are friends of yours that you can share it with. So I know Haley, so let's Hard on Herps. I'm going to share it with Hard on Herps because I know Hard on Herps. HTTP Savannah. She entered our giveaway, so I think she'll want to enter this giveaway. And then there was where's the other Haley that I know? Let me see if I just start typing in her name. There we go. Wait, Haley Bieber? No. Wait. Haley Bieber follows us? I don't know what that is. I'll do Bam Bam because Bam Bam's Geckos. And then I'll just say, thank you, sir. Looking forward to it. And that's it. So that's my post. Let me show you what my post will look like now. So if I scroll, oh, wait. My post, I think, will be all the way at the top. Yeah. So, hey, Robbie, I shared this post. I followed you on American Geckos, Robbie's Reptiles, and YouTube. And here are my 3 friends I'm tagging. And then it highlights them in blue. You see that? Hard on Herps, Savannah, Bam Bam's Geckos. Thank you. Looking forward to it. Now, I do need to ask him if he meant repost here because people were asking us at our giveaway, what is a repost? A repost is when you take a screenshot of the post. So like if this was on your phone, you'll take a screenshot of this, which is usually done by holding like down arrow and like Bixby button on Samsung. So you just got to look it up for your phone. So you take a screenshot of this and then you make your own post. So you'll go to create post and you will create a post, from your phone. And then you will put that picture on a post and just be like, hey, this is Robbie's Reptiles. He's doing a giveaway. Go give him a follow. That's what a repost is essentially. So that's it. That's the giveaway. That's the person we're promoting. It's a $1,250 gecko. So it's definitely worth doing all of this kind of stuff, guys. So do it. I think I need to ask him when he's going to do the giveaway and all that, but that'll be super interesting to see. Yes, Lisa, we're going to have our hands filled with babies. So Derek brings up a good point about group breeding. All of the females are laying eggs in the same box. So what you want to do is pick females that are the same genetics. So you can see like right here, when this Afghanicus male breeds to these two Afghanicus females, he's going to produce 100% Afghanicus babies. He's not going to produce Black Knight babies. So when he breeds to this Black Knight here and this Black Knight here, he's going to produce dark 50% Black Knight babies, and they will be clearly distinguishable between the pure Afghanicus babies and the Black Knight babies. Same with this group. I'm only breeding a pure Black Knight male to these pure Black Knight females. So the only babies that are coming out of this group are all Black Knights. Same thing with this group, all Black Knights. This group is similar, bold stripe, bold stripe, bold stripe, white and yellow, bold stripe, white and yellow. Or sorry, this is a bold stripe, white and yellow. This is a bold stripe, white and yellow. This is a bold stripe, white and yellow. These three are bold stripe hyperzanthics. Hyperzanthic means high, bright yellow. And so all of these are only going to produce bold stripe animals. Next, this male is a tangerine breeding to white and yellow, bold, bold, white and yellow. So all the babies that come from this group are going to be tangerine crossed with bold and white and yellow. So easy peasy for me to know the genetics there. All of these are Black Knight snows. They are 50% Black Knight snows. So when I pair them to a male that's 100% Black Knight, all of their babies are going to be 75% Black Knights and 75% Black Knight snows. This group, really easy. Mandarins and Infernos. And so all the babies from this group are going to be Manfernos. I might separate this female and this female because these two females are already 50% Mandarin and 50% Inferno. And so when I breed the dad to them, their babies will be 75% Mandarin versus these babies right here from this pure Inferno and this pure Inferno. These babies are only going to be 50% Mandarin. But the other night when I was separating out geckos, I needed to get girls in groups right away for rack space. So I can always redo this. But at the end of the day, whether it's 50% or whether it's 75%, it's still Mandarin Inferno crosses. And the way that I'm selecting my holdbacks is the babies that look the brightest and the babies that look the best will sell for the most money. All of these are Inferno 100% girls. So when I breed the Mandarin to them, all their babies will be 50% Mandarin, 50% Inferno, easy peasy. Same thing with this. This is a blood breeding to a tangerine, breeding to bold and white and yellow. So the only babies that are going to pop out of this are going to be blood Infernos, blood white and yellows, and blood bold white and yellows. So easy peasy. I can tell the genetics from all the babies because I know what those babies are going to look like. You know what I mean? So. Let me see if and when Robbie will be here. I messaged him at the start of this stream, so we'll see. He might. I told him he's got an hour and a half because I typically do the live streams for an hour and a half. So we'll see if he messages me here soon. So opinions. Wait. We got some more questions here. We got some more questions. Yeah, Joshua wants to see lemon frost, so I can show you some of our lemon frost. So here's one of our most beautiful clean looking lemon frost from this year. This is 75% fasciolatus lemon frost. This girl is, I believe, 50% fasciolatus lemon frost, or she is 96% Turkmenicus lemon frost, whichever one. I'd have to look up her genetic ID to know what she actually is. This is another one that's, I think, a generation 3 or generation 4 Turkmenicus lemon frost. So we have some very nice lemon frost pictures that I put on here. Here's a couple of lemon frosts as babies. One of them is a Spectre, and I just watched James Bond Spectre the other night. The Spectre is the ghost-like one, and the other one is a normal lemon frost. Both of them have high fasciolatus blood in them, which is what's making them more white in appearance. And here's another lemon frost female. I think this one is 50% fasciolatus that grew up from last season and now is becoming a breeder for us. This, I think, is a generation 1. So you could see generation 1 Turkmenicuses, they have that thicker skin look to them, which is usually an unhealthier look compared to like this. Oh, this is a Spectre Gen 4. So you can see this lemon frost does not have very thick skin, does not have a lot of that extra iridophore population making the skin thicker, which the thicker skin has a higher chance for tumor production. The thinner skin has a lower chance for tumor production. So essentially, you want your lemon frost to have thin skin. So when you look at the face of this animal, thin skin. There's not a lot of thick skin going on here. But when you look at the face of this generation 1, Turkmenicus macularis lemon frost, this was a back cross. You could see it has a shorter face, thicker skin, shorter body, thicker skin on the back. That's typically what you see the worst tumor cases in. So you want to stay away from that, and you want to breed for more thinner skinned animals. So yeah, and if the group breeding works, I think that's going to be a game changer for me to promote in the leopard gecko hobby, because it will allow for people to breed in masses in a much more efficient way. And what makes hobbies grow is efficiency. The reason the crested gecko hobby is growing so much right now, efficiency. You don't need any heat for those. That's why I'm doing a lot of research right now on crested and leopard geckos and room temperature, because imagine if leopard geckos could be kept at 78 to 80 degrees and you don't need to heat them, how much more popular they would be. So we'll see. I already know leopard geckos can be kept at 84 to 85 degrees and they don't need any extra heating or anything like that. So now the thing is to test to see if we can get that lower. So so anyway, if we can make the leopard gecko hobby easier, it will invoke more people to want to spend more money in the hobby, and the value of the animals will go back up. Because right now, the value of the animals is a lot lower than they should be, in all honesty, because these are beautiful animals in the leopard gecko world. It's just that the amount of new people flooding into the leopard gecko hobby is not as much as the amount of people breeding in the leopard gecko hobby. So there's way more supply than there is demand, and that's what's making the price lower. So there's a little lesson on supply and demand for you. You want demand to be high and supply to be low. That makes the most expensive animals. And if supply is equal to demand, that makes a healthy hobby, but more reasonably priced animals, you know? So like there's certain rare snakes and stuff that sell for $20,000 because the demand is super high and the supply is super low. So I need to take a leak real quick. I'll be right back. Guys, I am hungry. I cannot wait to get off the stream and eat. But I'm waiting for a response back from Robbie. I want to see if we can get him on the live here. I spoke with him earlier today. He said it shouldn't be a problem. So we will see. If not, for those of you who just came in right now, because I saw like 10 people came in right now, rewatch this stream. We were talking about how to enter Robbie's giveaway for the Lily White Crested Gecko. If you go over to Robbie's Reptiles and scroll down just a little bit to this post right here, follow these instructions, and you could have a chance to win a $1,300 Crested Gecko. That's amazing. I want it. I'm not lying. I want it. But if I don't win it, I'm happy that it goes to one of you guys because I should be able to buy one of my own if I'm not able to win it. But hey, that's a lot of money. Money doesn't grow on trees. I would love to win that Lily White because I want a Lily White, guys. I want a Lily White. I ain't lying. Sorry, guys. Trying to catch up to questions here. So, Hyro says, are you going to put any of your Afghan Max Snow babies up for sale? If I do, I may. If I do, it'll definitely be high money, though, because if you were to look up Afghan Max Snow right now, I don't think there's any on the market. I don't think there's anyone you could find them from. So it's such a unique project. So like we could go over to Morph Market. And even if you do, you want to make sure you could track back lineages. I can show you all the lineages that track back to my leopard geckos. See, there's like this category called Afghan Tangerine, but I don't really know how much Afghan blood is in here. Imported this stellar female from a breeder in Europe. See, the people in Europe, they know what's up. A couple of years ago, made several amazing babies. Look at this red. This is why I want Afghanicus into everything. Afghanicus, the deep, rich tones of Afghanicus is making this animal that much more red. So, anyway, this is the only Afghanicus leopard gecko on Morph Market that's a morph. This is a wild type Afghanicus, and this is a wild type Afghanicus. So the normal pure Afghanicuses go for about $200. If you were to get a snow, which is like, you can't get those anywhere, I don't know. I don't think I would sell them because I want to mass produce them for next year. But if I did sell them, if I did, I'd probably have to be around like the $600 mark. Don't quote me because I may want more. It's just you can't find them anywhere. And when you can't find something anywhere, it just makes it that much more valuable. But here's the thing. If I keep them all this year, then I'll have a ton next year, and I could probably do a little bit better pricing. Although that might be the first year of the release, so we might make them highest dollar in the first year of the release. But it's all about marketing strategy and getting people excited for projects. And so that's what I think's been missing a lot in the leopard gecko hobby. You need marketing strategy. And so you can see that there is a big difference. So like, wait, is this Afghanicus? This is a fasciolatus snow. Take a look at this. This is a 50% fasciolatus max snow. Now, take a look. Take a look-see at this. This is a 50% Afghanicus max snow. There's nothing like that on the market. There's nothing like. There's nothing like this on the market. My headphones just cut out, I think. The other day I was listening, and even though I kept talking, I should have done another test. But even though my headphones went out, I kept talking. It sounded like it was still going, but I couldn't hear myself. And I like to be able to hear myself. So right now on the headphones, I have echo version on so I can hear myself. But anyway, yeah, look at this. I'm going to start calling these harlequins. Look at this. I'm coining that term right now. You heard me say it first. Harlequin max snow. Or maybe Jester, just to compete with Matt's Joker. Because this is the Afghanicus blood crossed into Macularis creates some very Harlequin Jester-like pattern. Here, again, Harlequin, Jester pattern. You don't see nothing like this in the hobby. So very interesting. And this is only a 50% max snow. What if you create a 99%, which is the highest possible? What if you create a 99% max snow? You know, Afghanicus. I'm a new leopard gecko breeder. I'm breeding male tremper with female high yellow. I have 6 fertile eggs. Any advice? Yeah, watch our videos on incubation and watch our videos on setting up babies. Sometimes babies struggle in the first stages of their life and they benefit in a smaller tub. And if you want to learn, if you want to incubate those eggs for female or males, you can incubate them at 79 to 80 degrees for females, or you can incubate them at 89 to 90 degrees for males. We have videos on that. All you need to do is go over to YouTube and type in Geeky Gecko Creations baby leopard geckos, and you will find our videos on setting up baby leopard geckos. There's a few of them. Health concerns to watch out for, like umbilical cords. Eggs. What does a fertile egg look like versus a non-fertile egg? How to tell ovulations in females. How to set up baby leopard geckos. Then Geeky Gecko Creations incubation. How to incubate leopard gecko eggs. There's a 40-minute video here. Everything you need to know about incubation. Are air holes necessary? I highly recommend you watch this video. This is, oh my gosh, you can't see it. You couldn't see anything I was just talking about right now. But Geeky Gecko Creations incubation, leopard gecko incubation video, air hole incubation video, and Geeky Gecko Creations baby leopard geckos. And there's a few videos here. How to set up babies, umbilical cord for babies. How long till your eggs hatch? What fertile eggs look like versus non-fertile eggs. We have a bunch of videos on all of that, and you can look that up on our channel. So thanks for asking. So hungry. What do I have to eat? What can I eat? Oh, running out of water too. Thank you, Bam Bam, for for recommending that. Reptibators are great, and I also go over that in my video here. I show you the 2 different styles of incubator that you could use for a beginner that are very beginner friendly. One is a reptibator, the other is a hovabator that is used to incubate chick eggs. Yeah, if you want to incubate for females, I would incubate. Now, definitely watch this video because the temperature that you set the incubator to might not be the temperature inside. So you want to have other thermometers like this inside, right on top of the eggs, so you can tell what temperature it is. And you want the thermometer where the eggs are, you want that to read at about 80 degrees if possible. 81 degrees max, because that will ensure that you get the most females in your breeding. Yeah, we breed year round. I don't get hard wiki eye because they cannot interbreed with macularis as far as we know. I would love to get some hard wiki eye in the future and see if I could inbreed them with macularis. But for now, they would just be taking up rack space for mutations that I want to be working with. And so I just don't want to do that right now. But I will do that in the future. I'm sure I'll have some hard wiki in the future. Oh, here, Robbie's messaging me back now. Let me see what he says. It'll be cool just to talk to him because this is the first day talking to him. I think he's a cool guy. I want to do an interview with him one day, so. When somebody says possible blank, what does that mean? Possible eclipse means that they don't know if eclipse was in the parents, so therefore they think it might be, so therefore it might be in the babies. When they say possible, that means that there's a chance, most likely a low chance, that those genetics are in the animal, but a chance nonetheless. And so if it's a high chance of probability, most breeders will say like 50% possible het for eclipse or 66% possible het for eclipse. So he said, I'm sorry I've been so late catching up with all the geckos. I have not even been near my phone and still catching up. Yeah, we'll bring him on for a sec. He said he's going to come here for a sec. Time zone differences and whatnot can definitely like mess with people. I'll try to get to all of these questions when we get back. How many lemons are Spectre from? So here's the thing. Spectre we bought 3 lemon frost males from the original breeder that was working the project. Of those 3, one of them was a Spectre. Only Spectres make Spectres. So I think it's kind of like a linked gene with the lemon frost. For example, bananas in ball pythons is linked to gender. So like the banana gene is linked to males or is linked to females depending upon which parent is a banana and that lineage. It's a little confusing. You'd have to watch that. But anyway, the 2 are linked together. The same thing with Spectre and lemon frost. Spectre lemon frost only come from Spectre lemon frost. I have to ask the original breeder where the original Spectre came from. It might have just been like a wonky mutation that happened, and then he noticed that in the lineages down the line, and I've noticed that as well. So only Spectres come from Spectres, and as far as I can tell, a Spectre will always produce a Spectre. So if you have a Spectre lemon frost, all the lemon frost of its babies will be Spectres. Now here's the question. The babies that are not lemon frost, will they be Spectres as well? Will they look different as well? That is the question that I need more time to study. Because it could be a completely different genetic that is not linked to lemon frost, that can be isolated and separated from lemon frost, that will create a different looking leopard geckos. Time will tell. Cypher came out of wild genetic breeding. It mutated out of that. Maybe Spectre mutated out of wild genetic breeding being crossed into lemon frost, you know? Mutations happen. That's how it occurs. You know what I mean? So let me give Robbie the link here again. Copy. So he's still cleaning. We won't keep him long. but it would be super cool just to say hi to him. So. Yeah, a high yellow breeding to a tremper will make trempers that are high yellow. Now, if your tremper has some tangerine in there, like orange in there, then it will make geckos that are like a little bit orangey. But typically, to make orange geckos, you need 2 geckos that are orange. So if all you're working with is high yellows, they'll just be high yellow. They'll just be high yellow trempers. So, what is going on, Jay? Haven't heard from Jay in a long time. He said he's this tall. So if you don't know, Melon only works with Chrome, so I can only stream from Chrome. I don't know if you guys can only view it from Chrome. Do you think Enigma can also be cured? So, Hyro, you need to watch... I also have a video on this. Geeky Gecko Creations, Enigma versus Lemon Frost. So check this out. This video, Enigma versus Lemon Frost, shows a live stream that took place between a bunch of some of the top-end breeders in the hobby. This lady in the middle, her name is Darling Geckos. She focuses on Enigma, and she focuses on breeding a clean line of Enigma. In my video, I comment and I talk about their comments on Enigma, and I comment on their comments on Enigma, and I also leave a link to the original video. Where is it? Did I leave a link to the original video? Someone left a link to the original video. If I forgot it, I apologize. But I told you how to find the original video in this video. So you can watch my video, then you can watch the original video, and that will show you. Oh, so Robbie's here. Cool, cool, cool. I see him. I see him. First, I want to say, the Herping Gecko, thank you very much for that 99 cents super chat. Really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Oh, wait, we got Robbie. Hold on, let me hide this. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Great. How are you, man? Sorry about the delay. You would not believe the amount of shipments I've had to ship out today, and then I've been stuck in the Gecko room for the past few hours now, and my phone wasn't even on me, and so I didn't even see the time, so I apologize.
Wow, shipments. That's good. Shipments is a good thing. So,
well, it was all feeder insects. I've been doing a lot more of that.
Are you selling feeder insects, you're saying? Or
Yeah.
Oh, so, the roaches, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got rid of all of my dubias, thankfully, because I didn't even want them.
Okay.
But I can hear myself.
Yeah, if you can hear, do you have headphones that you can like put into your ears? It doesn't sound like it's. Let me ask the chat. Chat, it doesn't sound like it's doubling his voice, right? So as long as you could deal with it, Robbie, like as long as it's not too bothersome to you, I don't think it's affecting the audience's quality of hearing. But we'll see. I asked them, if you guys hear Robbie double, I don't hear him double. He's just, okay, so Ethan said it's a bad echo, so maybe some people are coming through with a bad echo.
I've got
Okay. Let me show. Okay, it's doubling, yeah. Let me show his. So if you want to learn about lobster roaches, it's a good alternative to dubia roaches. And Robbie's Reptiles, I think it's lobster roaches or it's red runners. Roaches. So it's red runner. So he has a whole care guide here on red runners and why he thinks that they are better than dubia roaches and why he thinks they're better than dubia roaches specifically for crested geckos and whatnot. So he has this whole video, which is really, really good. Check it out. He's selling these now. And so you can definitely see that. So let me get some water here. Echo, thank you for letting us know. Oh, cool. You can hear me, Robbie?
I can hear you. I'm trying to get you on the headphones. It's not working.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll do a quick audio check, guys. So let me know if you guys can hear Robbie now and it's not doubling. Can you see the stream, Robbie? What does it look like from your end?
Yes.
Okay, so you can see...
I can see the screen.
Okay, so you can see I was showing your Red Runner video right now while you were gone there. So I'll take that off stream just so that we can look a little bit more presentable here. So let me know, chat, if it's still echoing, but I hear him. I wonder why it's not echoing for me, though. Why would it not echo for me, but it's echoing for... Maybe he's going to try to just come back. He might, yeah, sometimes when electronics fail, just leave and come back in. It was fine until you minimize his screen and then echo. Let's see, he's probably going to come back. And then we can add him in there. Let me see if he mentions anything to me here. So remind me to ask him about the reposting, if we need to do that, or if sharing is just fine. And we want to ask him also when the giveaway officially is going to be and how all that's going to happen. It didn't start off with him echoing, but after a few words. All right, so it's loading him in here now. All right, so we're going to do another test.
Glitching out?
Yeah, some people were saying that it only echoed when I switched your screen on and off. So hopefully you coming back in fixed it, because sometimes with live streams that does fix it.
Okay, hopefully. And then also, I changed it to be going from my microphone on my headphones.
That might be it. That might be it.
Let me go back to speaker.
Jay said, I played games a lot. It's his volume. Doo-Wop says fixed. That sounds good to me if it's fixed. So we'll kind of chat on here. Let us know, guys, if we do have any sound issues, and we can try to make adjustments. But if it's sounding good and Bam Bam saying the echo is gone. So Robbie, welcome first and foremost. Are you on your phone or a laptop? The quality looks really good on you.
Phone.
iPhone or Samsung?
That's good. I've got lighting set up.
Gotcha.
This is just my photo lighting that I use. Maybe that's it.
Do I take the chance to show your Instagram right now, or do I just keep you on since the sound is good? But if you guys don't know about Robbie, there's a couple things that he excels in or has experience in that I just want to mention. He was talking about the lighting a second ago. He is a photographer, right? Or do you do photography? Is that another passion of yours? But he has a lot of experience with that. Wow, look.
I am originally I'm a cinematographer.
Cinematographer.
So I do productions for like small businesses. I do mini documentaries.
Wow.
And then advertisements, things like that. I've shot weddings too. But and then so when you do a lot of more film and video, you just naturally have the understanding of lighting and everything, and composition. Gotcha. So I can transfer that pretty well into photography, and then luckily being good at photography is really good for any kind of business that you really try to get into.
Yeah, definitely. So you guys heard it. If you go to his Instagram and YouTube channel, he has videos that are geared towards helping you take pictures of your animals, learn about lighting for your animals, and I'm sure you're not done yet, right? I'm sure you're going to be making more videos. Why don't you start with, when did you start your Instagram and YouTube platforms, and what's your goal with those platforms?
So Instagram, I think I started like probably, sorry, this gecko's really running away from me.
Is that the bomb to the giveaway? Or dad?
No, this is not. This is this is Moonshine, one of my favorite lily whites that I have.
I love lily white
mirror right now. I can get the male for that giveaway. I don't have the female anymore. I sold it to a follower of mine.
Wow, nice.
And they're getting some of the offspring too. Can you still hear me just fine if I'm over here?
I can hear you good, yeah.
Okay, it's coming through the headset then. Where is Giga Chat?
And if you did not see Robbie's racking system video, please go to his channel and check that out. You can see the racking system he's using right now is so efficient, and it works really well, and it's cost effective too, right? Look at that. So that's the dad.
This is the dad, yes.
Holy cow, that thing is white. I love the LILLY white. I love it when it first came out.
I'm pretty sure that this guy's got some pink line tangerine in him. He's got a little bit of a pink dorsal to him. Like there's only like little tiny specks of pink. All of his LILLY white babies have hatched out like the brightest orange or brightest pink dorsals. It's crazy.
Can I ask, who did you buy your high-end geckos from, and was it multiple breeders?
Oh, definitely multiple breeders. Most of the geckos that I ever buy, unless it's like a red patternless or a super soft, I usually always buy from Canada or from the UK. The UK has amazing LILLY whites for really good prices, and so does Canada. And now I've just built a rapport with a lot of the breeders in Canada. So they'll be like, hey, I've got exactly what you need, blah, blah, blah. Like this was a gecko that I ended up selling Chad and then made an extra $500 after buying this guy. So essentially I traded out Chad, which was my greatest, I don't really know what he was, extreme harlequin, white spot, whatever you want to call it. And then got him because I wanted to work with LILLY whites more. So now I called him Giga Chad. And then his best child is going to be Sigma Chad. And then that child's best child is going to be Yogurt Chad. And it's like a whole meme that I have going on.
That's super cool. So as you can hear it, you've made some pretty smart investment decisions and opportunities, and you're kind of familiar with business. So that's another thing that I wanted to promote about his channel is on his YouTube and Instagram, especially YouTube, you will see a lot of tutorials about business, tutorials about photography, in addition to his top quality animals, which, bar none, LILLY white is amazing and all that, but you just bought a super cappuccino? How many of those you got, and what did that cost you?
I did actually. I got 3. I just finished making the official video that I'm making for it too. I got 3 cappuccino. 2 are a pair of confirmed male and female. The male is 13 grams. The female is 20 grams. And then I got a baby cappuccino for free from buying the super cap. Originally, it was going to be the super cap and 2 cat babies, but then we discovered Ciroc between that deal happening. And they were like, I hate to do this to you, but we have to raise the price. And I was like, well, you're at least going to give me a free cap for it. And it ended up totaling, I think the cost was, how much was it? I think it was $50,000 total.
Holy cow, $50,000?
Yeah.
So you could see he's definitely invested some heavy money. And the good thing about newer, smaller breeders investing a lot of money is a lot of times the newer, smaller breeders are able to be more personable, able to be more communicative with potential customers for essentially the same animal that they will be getting. So it's not the easiest thing for a new person that has no importation experience to import from Canada, to import from the UK. But now you are sort of a middle ground link between the quality of the UK, the quality of Canada. People can go directly to you and get that quality at a much more reasonable price, because if people don't know, importing from Europe and importing from Canada is very expensive, just the importation in of itself, right? Nonetheless, the price of the animals too.
Yeah, I mean, so the price to import from Korea is depending on if you can get on, like, a lot of us will contact a lot of other people that we know are constantly importing, and we'll try to like all buddy up into one big import, because usually it's like $2,000 to import from Korea, which if you ask me, that's a very reasonable price to fly a gecko across the world for you.
Is that one crate or one animal?
It's essentially like the Koreans are shipping out, you know, my exporter just shipped out a shipment of 500 plus geckos. So that's all into like one giant cargo thing. And then your name is just on the Tupperware for each individual one that you bought. And then it goes to a middleman, which is usually in California or Florida. And then they will package them up again and ship those to you. And they'll make sure that they're hydrated, they get fed and everything like that. So importing from Korea, about $1,000 to $2,000. Importing from Canada is like $300, $350. Importing from the UK is different though, because they don't go by the box, they go by the gecko. So if you import from the UK, it's about 300 per gecko, or it's 185 per gecko, something like that.
And that's through Amsterdam guys, right? The Dutch Dragon Imports, or
you can go through Dutch Dragon Imports. There was one other name that I had heard thrown around, but I didn't go with them in the end. But I got my F2 crested geckos from Goldline Cresties in the Netherlands, I believe, and she used Dutch Dragon Imports, and they got shipped to my door within like one day. So
it's crazy how like Korea and Europe will have sometimes, not all the time, sometimes exceptionally higher quality animals than like America. And I'm just wondering, I guess morphs and mutations must have started over there and then eventually worked its way more west, so they're a little ahead of us. I don't know if you know a little bit of background history of that, but
a little bit. I mean, so originally we didn't have access to other countries and everything. It was just America, Canada, South Korea, not North Korea. And, you know, all these other countries had these animals, but no one was working together on it. Well, South Korea really was ahead of the game in terms of having, I mean, people had 3,000 gecko collections, and people were working on a bunch of shit and either supplying pet stores or breeding with other really high quality breeders and like trading and doing all of that. So, I mean, most of the genes naturally are going to come from a place that has the most geckos. I would definitely say that Koreans are always willing to pay more. They're always willing. They're much more serious and much more business oriented when it comes to it. And, you know, some people think that's a really bad thing. Some people think it's a really good thing. But they've definitely been my favorite clients to work with. I'll just be like, here's the price for this gecko. And they'll be like, it's in your PayPal. No questions asked, anything like that. Like if they see quality, they'll buy it. But
they'll buy it from you, you're saying?
From anybody. If you've got quality, they'll buy it.
And then you have to work with the exporter from America. Like you'll ship it to the exporter from America, and then that exporter will ship it to them in Korea, kind of thing?
So usually working with experienced breeders from Korea, I've worked with about 5 so far. They will be like, contact this person, and then they'll just tell you like, ship to this address. So it's just like, you might have to pay the shipping, depends on the deal you made. So you pay the $50 or now $80 because of the inflation to get it shipped to California or Florida, and then they handle the export. It's just like you're shipping a normal gecko. It's not too difficult, actually.
That's really, really cool. Yeah, I was going to ask you more about Korean shipping because I wanted to order some leopard geckos and maybe some high-end stuff in the future. So that's good to know. Now I know maybe I could contact you and be like, hey, can I jump into a package of yours in the future?
Yep.
And that's basically the way to do it, right? Because that makes it cheaper for everybody. You split that $2,000 shipping cost, whatever, 10 ways or 5 ways, however many people are buying it, and it makes it more manageable.
I've commonly heard of people doing like 5-way splits.
That's cool. So you definitely, what made you want to say, okay, have you always been into reptiles? And what was the decision to go from keeper to, okay, I'm going to invest more than $50,000 into this and want to make it a business?
Well, there's a lot more in the middle between those two options. But really quickly, someone asked a question. Question for Robbie: how would you recommend getting into lily whites, or is there a better morph to invest with? Not a huge fan of caps. So if you're not a big fan of cappuccinos, I think lily white is still a pretty good option. I mean, I just think that they're really beautiful. And what's great about a lily white is that it's the easiest way to get the highest white without, 10 generations of line breeding and really selective breeding in order to achieve that high white look. But there sadly is a lot of lily whites out there that are covered in Dalmatian spots now, and that's not very desirable. No professional breeder will be interested in that. At least in my opinion, no real professional breeder would. But if you're just trying to like have a pet and, you want to be able to make babies to be able to supply having that pet, maybe make like, buy your groceries once a month, a lily white would be a pretty great gecko to get. You can look on Morph Market. I have a couple babies for sale. I'm sure that other people also do that I could recommend to you. Right now is a bit of an iffy time to buy, but probably the best time to buy. Everyone's trying to sell geckos and the market's really low. So I already saw a lily white go for $400. And I even saw someone sell a soft scale lily white for $700. So
I wonder what that looks like. That would be pretty cool.
It looks like a lily white with like a very slight hue difference. A super soft lily, I've only seen one. and it's very, very unique.
Wow, that's awesome.
And then question for Robbie, how long did it take to grow your beard? Well, ever since I got out of the Army, I vowed I would never shave my beard ever again.
Wow.
So that was like 5.5 years ago. So it's been a while. If I didn't trim it at all, it'd probably be down to here, but it'd look really ugly.
Yeah.
So and the goats are all doing great.
Veteran-owned business, right?
So what made me want to get into crested gecko breeding, I've always liked reptiles. I grew up on a ranch, and I was like pretty far away from the city. And I just had like bearded dragons, and I thought it was awesome. And then I got into breeding them, and I was like, this is so cool. And then I ended up joining the military. And when I was in the military, when I got out, I got medically discharged for some really messed up surgeries that I just got taken care of. The screen is mirrored, so I can't figure out what's going on.
I can see it. Yeah, the cuts right there.
Yeah, so I got bilateral nerve reconstruction. But is my phone not charging?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
Are we dying?
No, it's just slowly dying, even though I'm charging it.
Oh, maybe because the usage of being on
yeah,
stream
it's draining the battery. Oh, the Gecko dropped.
You think it's going to be okay?
I'm at 4%. I think it's going to gradually keep going lower, but I'll finish this off. I was an adult. I was an established cinematographer now in Austin, Texas, and then I was like, well, I really love reptiles. I had my pet redfoot tortoise, and I was like, I really want to get like a new animal as a pet, blah, blah, blah. I got my first crested gecko, and I was like, wow, this is so cool, and they're like so soft, and they're very like approachable for everybody. And then I went back on Craigslist, of course, and then I found some more people that were selling some, and I was like, I could get a pair. Like, I'll see what happens. And then I looked into it, how easy it was to reproduce them and how easy they are to care for already. And I was like, well, if I have one, it's probably going to be the same as taking care of 3. So then I got 2 adults. It was Ghost and one other one. I forgot the name. I bred them together, made like 6 babies, and I ended up selling each of the babies for like $50 or $100. And I made back all the money that I had spent on all of the geckos and their supplies. And I was like, wow. Well, I was just able to like fund this hobby. That's pretty cool. What if I took this 400 and then I just bought a much better crested gecko, and then I bred that to the 2 that I already have? So I did that, and then it all kept snowballing. And I was like, okay, well now I made 2,000 off of these 3 geckos that I just sold. What if I take this 2,000 and buy this many, or I buy this Lily White, et cetera, et cetera? And then I just got so unbelievably absorbed in like the whole market of crested geckos and really studying how to tell a high quality one from a low quality one, starting to find my niche and starting to do stuff. I researched like every single crested gecko breeder on the internet, and I was like, none of them have as good of photos as I could be taking. So let me just like really, I think this is something I need to do. And so then up until now, I had been running it out of my closet. Now it's the guest bedroom. And just today, I had my 800 square foot facility delivered and established on the acre that I just purchased next to me. So now I'm going to be able to comfortably house up to 2,000 geckos if I wanted. And right now I'm at like 200 maybe.
That's awesome. Yeah, I want to be I definitely want to like get to know you more, and the information that you have is so valuable. But since your phone is dying and we didn't plan like an official interview today, if you want, what we can do is, since we're getting near the end of the stream, if it messes up the sound, it does. I'm going to shift over to your Instagram. We will look at the giveaway post because you've pretty much hit your numbers for the giveaway, right? So
I did like at midnight last night. And then I got a bunch of people being like, congrats, who's the winner? Am I the winner? Who's the winner? And I'm like, oh no.
That was going to be my question is, I want to review with you real quick to make sure that people are aware how to enter, and then when you're going to do the giveaway and how that process will be. So we'll wrap that up in a couple minutes since your phone's dying. But let me, I hid you and then brought you back. Hopefully that doesn't ruin the sound. So we're going to talk about your goats another time. That's really interesting too. Lily White post. Let me first ask you a question. Well, first of all, I showed this off earlier before you came on the stream, how it's a very expensive, very high quality Lily White. You could find Giga Chad. Yeah, there's the dad. You can find, let me see here. There's the dad. Right, that's the dad you said?
Yep.
That's Giga Chad?
Yes, this is Giga Chad. His surname is Giga Chad Thundercock.
And so you could find Giga Chad pictures also on your here. Like, I think this is him right here, right? This is Giga Chad Thunder. There it is right there, a little emoji. So Giga Chad Thunder right there. This is his baby. Super high quality. Parents tend to have super high quality babies. So we can only imagine what this baby would turn out to be, but it's definitely a high dollar baby. Now, first thing people need to do is share the post. I did this live to show people how to do it. Did you mean repost the post, or did you mean share it like this to one of your friends? You know what I mean?
It is truly anything. That is one thing that I can't truly track.
Yeah, it's tough.
There's software we need to try to track that. The main thing is we're going to need following Instagram, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Okay. And then I was saying that I'll give a bonus drawing if you're following the backup account, because I've had a lot of people try to take my account down. And Instagram's whole, I make a video about the whole thing, but even Tiki Geckos just got taken down, and they're one of the leading breeders in the industry.
I was just announcing to people, I was lucky enough, because I've looked up to him for a long time, I was lucky enough to get him on an interview for this Friday. So he's going to be on an interview this Friday. That's going to be our official interview day, so I'd love to get you on one of these Fridays where we could have more time to talk business, talk everything, show cool reptiles, photography, learn a little bit more about, all that kind of stuff. So sharing the post could include reposting it or just clicking this little airplane button here, sharing it with somebody, correct?
Yep.
Subscribing to YouTube is pretty clear. Go over to Robbie's Reptiles, subscribe. I showed all this earlier in the stream. This is me, Robbie. I showed people how to tag 3 friends. You just do the @ sign, and then you start typing in letters, and it starts recommending friends that you are already with. And then also follow American Geckos, and you could go over there, and I showed people how to follow American Geckos. Now that gets you into that's the bonus step. That'll get you into the giveaway with the bonus step. And then can you briefly tell us when the giveaway is going to be and how that process will look?
So I'm going to try to do it tomorrow, and I'm very old-fashioned. I'm going to go onto each of the followers list, and I'm going to frantically scroll through all of it, and then put my finger down, and then the 3 that I get from each of those, I'm going to roll a D4 of dice, and then whoever, obviously, let's say 1 doesn't count, so any of the other ones, so it's just going to be complete chance. And then I'll just announce. I'm going to announce it on YouTube because I had a bunch of people try to make spam accounts and try to scam other people, and say like, "Hey, we just need you to pay shipping. It's $200," and like pretending to be me, completely copied my entire profile. And I was like, "That is not me.
Nuts.
Everyone, go report them." And they had gotten like 500 followers somehow, and it was like Robbie's Reptile giveaway, and I was like,
what?
Oh no.
Okay, so everyone watch out for that. The crazy thing is you're only 2 years into this. You're just like a little fish in the sea. It's weird that everyone would be like picking on your name like that, but the people who have time, you know what I mean? The lower level people who have time to actually do that, it's just interesting. Even that hasn't happened to me, and I briefly talked with you today how we have a lot of haters and a lot of people that try to drag us down. But that's so interesting. The haters that you have are taking it to a whole nother level. So beware of that, people. Your 2 accounts are Robbie's Reptiles, which we can see here, right? Which is actually America's best crested geckos as well. Like that's kind of the 2.
Yeah, it's like a whole business strategy thing, because if you just have Robbie's Reptiles and then you put Robbie's Reptiles again, when someone's looking at your profile, it's like wasted space. So you change your name to something that gets their attention and sort of like a title rather.
Another business tip we will cover deeper in the next interview.
But then sometimes I text people and they're like, "What's your name?"
And then you have, whoops, I wasn't showing it, but you have American Geckos right here as a backup account in case anything happens. Official backup account, and that'll be Robbie Boyd. And no one can recreate this, right? Like no one can do exactly American Geckos, exactly Robbie Boyd, right?
They can't do exactly American Geckos, but they can copy everything else they want. Down to the photos if they want.
Okay, but not the initial, like,
not the username.
Not the username, right. So look out for his 2 usernames, Robbie's Reptiles, you've seen it here. And then the other one that we were just showing, American Geckos. Dang, that is good branding. Robbie's
I know, right?
Reptiles, and then American Geckos.
I've got the domain to both of them for the next 10 years. I also got the domain for redrunners.com, and I got the domain for robbiesredrunners.com. I'm working a deal with the people that own reptileradio.com, because their podcast is not even about reptiles, it's about cars, and for some reason it's called Reptile Radio. So I'm trying to buy that domain from them, but they're not replying.
So look out for Robbie's podcast in the future, right? Because you're going to be doing some. That's one thing that I think the lizard world, the gecko world, is definitely behind the ball python world. And we've seen the success of the ball python world with collaborations, with live streams, with podcasts. And now that's coming more to the gecko world. And that's only going to bring more awareness, more people flooding into the gecko world. And essentially more people in the hobby means more ability for small businesses to be successful, etc. People to start businesses.
And especially like in terms of doing like video or audio, like a podcast, like you've got to imagine the people that are in the hobby are starving for something that they can listen to while they're taking care of their collection or while they're driving to go pick up or go to a reptile show. Like these are all things that reptile breeders want to be able to listen to and want to be able to watch. And when most of the content of reptiles on the internet is like, what's up everybody? Today we're going to be blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, you know, like as an adult, I don't really feel very comfortable watching that. It doesn't really give me any information. So I think that the whole reptile hobby as a whole needs a little bit more new branding.
Definitely. I'm definitely with you there. You know, you and I had a little discussion earlier about new branding, new ideas coming into the hobby, and sometimes that catches a lot of heat from the people that have been running the hobby for a while because they don't want things to change. They like the way things are because they're on top with the method of the way things are, and now they have to learn something new, and their customers are going to other people. And although that's all true, if they would just look at the positive side of it, that, hey, Robbie is bringing more people into the hobby. And not everyone's going to shop with Robbie. Some people that Robbie brings into the hobby will shop with other people that are criticizing Robbie. So it all benefits. Like the newer breeders coming in with new ideas, new podcasts, new all that is only bringing more attention to every breeder in the hobby, even the older breeders, especially the older breeders that tend to have the nicer animals and the larger collections. They're only going to benefit from being nice and encouraging and collaborating with the newer people coming in and trying to bridge those gaps instead of keeping us on opposite sides and making us compete in a way, you know?
Yeah, and there's a big difference between, I guess you and I are the new generation. How old are you?
33. 34.
You're 33?
Yeah.
Guess how old I am.
I feel like you're trying to trick me here, so now I'm going to say like 24 or something.
I just turned 24 last week.
Oh, wow. So that was a good guess. Holy cow.
The difference that I've noticed within the reptile hobby from the new generation to the old generation is that the old generation and the old, you know, the classic reptile breeders are very secretive about all the things that they're doing. And in terms of like, if they think they have a new morph and you bought into it early, a lot of them will get very mad if you share any information or post anything about it. They're like, you can't post anything till I post about it. This is my thing. And I'm just like, you sold me the gecko. I gave you, you know, let's say like $2,000. This is my animal. I can do what I want with it. So like, if you didn't want anyone to talk about the thing, don't sell it to people. And I've heard a lot of stories about that. But not only that, I mean, even like the Chocho morph that's being worked on in Korea right now. There's like 2 breeders total in the world that have it. It's the most
I don't even know what
crazy
that is.
looking, like, just,
is that different than the
so
cappuccino?
hard to describe. What was that?
That's different than the cappuccino? That's not related?
Completely different. And then Sable also just got confirmed. So that's 2 new morphs that are coming out eventually. But you know,
I'm going to watch your
secretive.
videos to teach on it.
Yeah. Everyone's so secretive about it. And I've talked to like Pre-Packs and RCK, and they don't understand why so many breeders are so secretive like that, because you're not going to get the community more involved, more hyped. Like, if anything, it's ROI positive for you to be, sharing, being transparent. So I got this really cool new gecko. I think it might be something. I'm going to go ahead and breed it to this and see what happens. And then you skip to 6 months later. So what ended up hatching out of the first 3 clutches is something like this and this. I'm noticing that there's a little bit of a difference between just completely be transparent and talk about these things. Otherwise, you're just going to be like, new gecko, $20,000, and everyone's going to be like, fuck you. I'm sorry if I'm not allowed to curse. I don't know what those
you're
rules
okay.
are.
It's not that you're not allowed. I never tell people what to do, but just so you know, the general like theme of Geeky Gecko Creations is I try not to do that because we're very like kid friendly and all that kind of stuff. So just in case,
but
yeah,
you know what I mean.
I don't tell people
like,
what to do.
There's, a lot of people when someone just comes out the gate and then they're like, "Where are you getting the audacity to claim something like that?" And that's negative. That's negative, but that's how it was back in the day. Because it would be like more respected. It's like, oh wow, he's kept this a secret for 15 years and now he's releasing only 2. That's like not the new thing anymore. People want to get excited. People want to see content. They want to absorb information. So that's just another thing that I've noticed. The difference between our generation and the old generation.
That's so interesting because, and I'll wrap this up here because I know your phone's probably dying and
it's maintaining a steady 4, thankfully.
I'm sure you still have cleaning to do, right? Because when you messaged me, you're like, I'm still cleaning. So I'll definitely let you go. But the funny thing, I did not expect for you to have such a similar experience as me. And so it was so funny to talk to you today, texting you back and forth about what we were talking about, how we both have had similar experiences being kind of newer faces, newer content creators, entering into an older existing hobby, with trying to make a splash, but making a splash in a good way, but then receiving a lot of criticism and negative attention because of that. I didn't expect to relate to you in that way. So it's cool to be able to relate to you because I've kind of been on my own here for a while, just like not drowning, but sometimes this negativity gets to you, right? And like you're concerned about your brand image and stuff. And when people are saying lies and talking negative stuff, it doesn't feel good. But at the end of the day, I had to let that go and just focus on the people that are here, the people that are following, and not retaliate or not. I was trying to I would make videos like trying to expose them and like, even though I'm nice, like say negative things about them. And it was just so much energy and brain power. And it took my focus away from why people like us to begin with, which is content. And like you said, the revelation of knowledge and the ability to reveal that, the willingness to reveal that and encourage others,
Yeah, and one of my favorite sayings that I've heard recently is, all ships rise with the tide.
Yeah.
So that's kind of something that I've been really applying to the Gecko branding, I guess, that I'm trying to achieve. There are no industry secrets. Like I've uploaded like 4 different videos of what I think might be the next best breeding setup ever, because I'm constantly trying to find a more efficient way to do it that doesn't sacrifice anything for the gecko or for me. And I think that we should all be trying to share like, hey, this is my most effective way of doing it. Because there's like a bunch of stigma around it, and there's just like, oh no, I have the advantage because I can take care of my geckos faster. I just kind of think it's arbitrary. But before we did round it up, I did want to get to answering people's questions because I feel bad that we didn't answer them.
You want to answer a couple? There was a couple we missed, I think.
Robbie, how do you suggest one would go about contacting the Asians, for example, and seeing if they would be interested in one of your animals? It's kind of, so what I did is I went to really big breeders and I saw who they're following. And then I followed all the South Korean, I was about to say American, the South Korean pages, things like that. I'm also working on exporting to South Africa. If there's like even one South African person watching, it's a very small market over there. They do not even have lily whites. I think the fanciest gecko they have there, they told me, was a red pinstripe. That's it.
Wow.
That's like the fanciest, and it's like $100. So I was trying to I'm trying to just give, I would lose so much money by exporting to them, because I think they said it would end up costing $18,000 to import a gecko. So I'm just literally just gonna give him a lily white for $500, a lily white proven male to just start that, and then everyone in South Africa will be like, Robbie is awesome.
That's cool. That's really cool. So I won't ask you questions about that, even though I do have questions. I'll let you continue answering questions.
Do you think there will be another patient 0 soon that I'll actually pass down the morph? So it's kind of an oxymoron by saying, is there going to be another patient zero, but it passes on the morph? I think there will be plenty of new genes coming up. One thing that I do have in the works, and I just finished filming a video for it, I just purchased a collection from my friend that might possibly, this is a total hypothesis, please do not take this and run with it, people. I'm hypothesizing that it might be piebald in crested geckos. They both hatched out lily whites with an orange or yellow base. Well, there's 3 that have it. 1 is not a lily white, and the 2 are lily white females. And the one that's not a lily white is a male. So that's really good because I need to test if it's replicable. But the fact that there's 3 of them that kind of have it is pretty promising. It's not like a random genetic anomaly. So like there's also exciting. It's very exciting. So they named the first one Nose Candy because it looks like it snorted a giant line of cocaine. And then the second one is Scarface to keep in theme with cocaine. So I went ahead and I named, if it ends up becoming an actual gene, I named it the Angel Dust gene, or the Angel Dust Project.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
I thought that was all fitting.
Is it just little pieces of the body for right now?
Or is it...
oh, you actually have them? Like you have them?
Yeah, I do. It's kind of hard to tell maybe on a phone. I do have photos on my Instagram page, though. So this, that looks overexposed. You can know my shirt, bud. Thank you. So
I like how cresties just stick to you. That's one thing that they're really good at.
This one's head. I'm really trying to get this for you guys.
Is he close to the top of your Instagram page or something? I can like...
Yeah, this is super hard to do. It should be relatively... one of them is a pink background, and it has a giant white spot on its face.
Oh, snap. Yeah, I saw that
there
right away.
So that...
Holy cow. Yeah, that's interesting for sure. Does it look like lily white pattern, or is the white a different color than the lily white? Uh-oh. I think I lost you. The phone probably died. Maybe. Or sometimes connection issues happen, so if you can hear me, Robbie, definitely lost you. Anyway, that was cool. I don't know if he's going to be able to make a comeback, but Robbie from Robbie's Reptiles, I mean, go and follow him. You see that he is at the forefront of what's going on with the crested gecko market right now. I had no idea he was this deep into it financially as well as like morphs wise and stuff. I knew he had nice stuff, but talking to him tonight about Korea and all that stuff, he is setting himself up for success for sure. So he is well ahead of the game. He really loves his monochrome stuff. So you can see this right here. Monochrome, which means like single chrome, single color. So really cool. He didn't message me back, so I think we probably lost him. But I'll give him a minute here. Ooh, it's getting cold in this room. I need to put a bunch of leopard geckos away. I need to get some food. So let me ask you guys, does that make you more excited that there are new morphs popping up in crested geckos? Does it make you more willing to spend money in crested geckos? Does it make you more excited for crested geckos? Or are you still diehard leopard gecko fans? You know, because these are all things that will shape and develop the trends of the market for the future. You know what I mean? So I'm interested to hear. I don't know if there will ever be an albino crested gecko. It just seems... So albinism is in fat-tail geckos. Albinism is in leopard geckos. But it doesn't seem like albinism is in lychees, crested, or gargoyle, which is very interesting. So I want to say that maybe, just maybe, the genome of crested geckos will not be supportive towards albino. So Tiki's geckos will be on this Friday. Really cool. Really excited for that. And then Tiki's geckos, and then I'll try to get Robbie back on for an actual interview in the future. And as you see, he's going to be starting his own podcast. The giveaway is going to be tomorrow. Robbie will announce who the giveaway winner is. He said he's going to scroll through his phone, pick somebody, roll the dice on those 3 people, and somebody will be the lucky winner. I never heard of South Africa starting. There is one guy breeding leopard geckos and bearded dragons. Oh, yeah, because what's his name did the... he just did that video of South Africa. Dave Kaufman. Dave Kaufman. So South Africa's going to blow up. It's good when these markets blow up because it opens up more international sales and trades. I deeply love leopard geckos as well. So we're going to call it there. Robbie didn't message me back, so I think maybe, just maybe, his phone died. So let me message him telling him, don't sweat it. Catch ya on the next stream. I'll have to set up a live with you. So anyway, check out Robbie's videos. He's got some really cool videos to make scaling crested geckos easier, and some of his housing setups and stuff might work really well for leopard geckos as well. So I love you guys. Oh wait, Robbie just came in. Or I thought he came in. Maybe the phone doesn't have the juice. Yeah, Robbie is really cool. He has a lot of knowledge he can share. He has a lot of really cool projects. Oh, Robbie, maybe your video's not on? Or do I need to turn on his video? How come I don't see him? Nope. I don't know. It shows that like he's in here. Muted. You might be muted, Robbie, and I can't see your video. So I'm not sure if that's on your end, if you can hear me. We'll see. We'll give him another sec here. Yeah, gotta clean them geckos. It's Robbie's ghost. Hide on stream. Okay, he's gonna try one more time. Cause there he is. I think it's loading. We will see if it will load him. I don't know why it's not loading the screen or the video. Let me... Oh, there we go. I have no idea what happened. Are you... Wait. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. It doesn't show you muted. Yeah, I can't. It doesn't sound like there's anything coming through. But I'm not seeing you muted either. You can hear me, though? You can hear me? Weird. Are you able to try one more time? Just come out or log out and then try one more, come back in. Yeah, I can't hear you. It's like dead silent. So like it's not picking up anything. Yeah, nothing yet. Maybe the phone is too low on battery. We'll see. We'll see if we can get them. Die hard leopard gecko, but doesn't mean if things go good for me down the road. I hope I got you. No. That's so weird. That's so weird. Bye, Robbie. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, man. All right, guys. So that's Robbie of Robbie's Reptiles. Thank you for joining tonight's live stream. Again, this was not supposed to be an official interview with him. We will have that one day. Tomorrow, he will be announcing the giveaway, probably on YouTube, he said. So keep an eye on his YouTube channel. Make sure you go over to his giveaway page right here and do these few things so that you could possibly win a $1,300 gecko. Yes, let's call it. I need to eat, get some water, and then I'm really excited. I have a whole bunch of leopard geckos I could put in their groups now, so I'm excited for that. So thank you guys. Love you guys. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, have a geeky gecko great day. Peace.